Time to continue our training and actually get down to the farming. Yes, it is a good morning. Emphasize the butt and hand it to you.
You got terrible posture for flexing.
She can't feel that good. Looks like that mattress is, what, 2 inches thick? Probably stuffed with cow skin.
It's just just a leather pad.
But it's a Serta leather pad.
Ooh.
I love the way everyone carries everything.
We made one animation and then we went to the bar.
So there's 2 ways of carrying an object. There's actually having it equipped, which puts it in your hand, or just carrying it like an item, like Ida was there. It's where you carry it over your head. Like it's the Sultan.
I'm always really nervous ever since, the very first Harvest Moon. End up accidentally throwing stuff on the ground and shattering it.
So they dramatically sped up the farming in this.
Whoa!
I know, this is amazing.
9 plots for 1 set of seeds. So every time you buy a bag of seeds, you're buying 9 crops.
Best just goes to town on those plots.
And get this, it's still not quite balanced out. Because like I mentioned before, we have to play in seedling mode to make anything within reasonable reach as far as prices and stamina use. So like we may be able to get 9 turnips out of just 1 plot, but everything is still stupid expensive and it does take up a lot of stamina. So it feels more awesome than it is, but it's still kind of awesome.
Oh, you don't even need to, like, carefully situate yourself in the middle?
Nope.
Oh, wow, no more wasted seeds!
Yeah.
And then miss by 1 square and turn your Super Nintendo off and back on, try again.
And that was still a problem as recently as A New Beginning.
Yep.
Because it was 8 crops for 1 little bit of plot, but you still had to be in the middle to make sure you didn't waste it all just in the middle for.
Oh, come on, man.
At the very least, they streamlined the whole process very nicely.
Oh, this doesn't seem tedious at all, actually. Wow.
It's really not. You can fuck around like I am, but yeah, it's pretty nice. I like it.
All that time interning as a sprinkler finally paid off.
So this is pretty nice. This little plot of turnips is now completely ours. Even when we get our own farm later, we can still come back here and grow the crops and sell the turnips and then grow something else there.
So I noticed the turnip seeds had a little star meter next to them. What's up with that?
Yes, every crop has a star rating. Star rating affects how much it costs, basically. And also there are a couple of events related to some of the rivals, at the very least one of them, and depending on the star rating of the item that they ask for, you'll either get more friendship points with them and more respect from them, or they'll be very disappointed in you.
Oh, alright, so is it Is it that turnips are a half-star crop, or can you get, like, 5-star turnip seeds?
You can eventually get 5-star turnip seeds.
Ooh.
It depends on, as we were talking about, you need to buy fertilizer and constantly fertilize the different plots. And then you need to get a seed maker, which converts the now slightly higher up star rated turnips into seeds that you can plant, continue to fertilize, and continue that process on and on until eventually you get to 5-star turnips.
Gracious, sorry for jumping the gun on the game mechanics, but that is fascinating.
It's very... it's a dedicated process. You need to keep it up for a very long time. Probably longer than the season. Luckily, there is a multiplayer option in the game, which allows you to speed that up a little bit.
Arbor Beth tells you her one weird trick for getting great seeds. Monsanto hates her.
You look down at the bottom, you can see the map of the town, and it tells you where pretty much everyone in town is, just with their heads.
Oh, now that's handy as heck.
And slightly creepy.
Best always knows.
As soon as she moved in, she had all the townsfolk low-jacked.
I think Veronica did that in advance.
Welcome to town. Give me your ear, please. Here's your tracking tag. Yeah, you shouldn't harvest other people's crops. Stop manhandling his cow. Her cow. Someone's cow.
Training day 4, we're finally able to go around and explore the town at our own pace. This is basically our first actual day. And look at this. This is where we're going to be living eventually. It ain't pretty now. Maybe it will be later, but eventually it'll be nice.
Won't be so bad. Sweep up the spider eggs, maybe get rid of some of that black mold.
Take some of that fallen lumber, reinforce the roof. Lick of paint and you'll be good as new.
Now, you may not think this, it's actually a good idea to hang on to those weeds that I just picked up, because those become very cheap fertilizer.
Yeah, compost.
Yeah. Here's the swimming. I was, showing it off properly. You can't just dive into the water willy-nilly. You need to wait until Best actually notices something, and then you dive. Every little plot of water in an area has 2 halves of it. So right now I'm in the right half. Next I'm going to swim over to the left. Each half has 3 fish or some kind of object in it every day. So once you've pulled them up, that plot is going to be empty until tomorrow. Luckily, when we get the fishing rod, it won't be the case for that. You can catch as many fish with that as you have stamina. It'd be kind of BS if it was limited.
So no more annoying mini games or button pushing or searching. Best just goes down there and gets them with her bare hands.
Yep.
I guess just to force you to farm so that you can't just make a living hauling clams out of the lake or something.
Not as comfortable a living, at least. I mean, again, if there was ever any Harvest Moon game with no threat, it's this one. Oh, we do meet the other rival. That's almost a shame, because I don't like this character.
Well, he appears to be wearing a sweater vest, so we're already off to a bad start.
Well, that's just the servant. Speaking of indentured servitude.
Oh, man. She has a butler and a plantation?
It's sort of sad, this character, because there is a very long sequence that eventually leads to her getting some character development. You probably ain't gonna see it. So for the entire time that you play, you're only gonna see her as the rich jerk.
Wow, easy there, Blanche Dubois.
Ho 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 ho.
What, she can't move it herself? Is she gonna get the vapors?
I have always depended on being a complete dick to strangers.
Lady, I'm gonna... At least I'm gonna own you within a year.
Oh, please do.
Give me all the lip you want now. You're not gonna have any of the plots in this town once I get my hands on them.
Okay, getting a little bit of a Stepford Wives vibe with these two.
Well, they're not actual characters. Pretty much any character who doesn't have a portrait has just a blank face and maybe a slight personality.
Robots.
I had permission from your butler.
Oh.
Actually, it wasn't even permission. It felt like a requirement.
It was more like a kidnapping than anything.
I'm guessing this is supposed to endear her to me. You're not going to be terrible to this one person? No, I changed my mind.
Yeah, you know those two are getting whipped as soon as you leave.
They're gonna spend the night in the corn silo with the rats.
It's where I sleep anyway.
If they're quick, they can get a decent meal.
I like it better than my bed. So I'm all the way out here, and I need to go back to where I was. Thanks, butler. That's not him. That's Charlie. I'm looking for Sam. He's got hell to pay. She does have a hell of a nice farm, though.
It is so elegant.
It's a wonder they have space for crops or animals, since it's all just paved roads and all that.
It's the Versailles of Oak Tree Town.
That's right. It's basically Marie Antoinette's little village.
I'm looking for the owner of the restaurant. You can see him in the bottom, which is actually heading up into the guild. Oh no, he's heading into the inn. This is the guild. Where Veronica is, and there's also a door in the back that leads to the clinic. One kind of nice element. I think these are supposed to count as farmers that are supposedly in town. You never see them or anything. But as you get more merchants to come to town, there will also be tourists who sort of walk around. They're basically the same as those farmers, no real character. But it is a cool element. That right there is Marion. That is the doctor. Marion's kind of an odd character, and I'm not just talking about visually. Marion is, at least in the localization, is a canonically gay male character. He explicitly says he has a boyfriend, which is kind of cool. I don't think they've done anything like that, at least as far as Bokujo Monogatari, before Marion. But I was reading that his use of pronouns in the Japanese version is a little bit different. Like, there's a possibility that Marion is actually trans-female in Japan, and I'm not actually versed enough in that situation to know for sure. If there is anything transgender-related in his situation, you can count on it being two cultures who don't handle trans people very well, not handling trans people very well. So, just for the sake of this Let's Play, I'm going to assume he is a gay, cisgender male, which in itself is pretty cool to see anyway. I mean, yeah, he's overloaded with makeup, and he's slightly flamboyant, but he's also a very likable character. He's got a lot of personality, so I like him a lot.
He's got little pink syringe earrings. They're the best.
How do you not love that?
He's a fellow with... Oh, jeez, man. Somebody with syringe earrings, I guess, would have to be pretty confident in his abilities as a doctor.
Though that does worry me. if you're a practicing doctor and you have that much makeup, there's a definite allergy or sensitivity issue you need to be aware of.
Well, like the man himself said, such is the price of beauty.
That's true. This is the carpenter. Technically the carpenter's wife, but they basically both work the same way. So like Corona manages the shop itself. I go to her to buy materials and some blueprints for things I can build later. And somewhere around here is her husband who does the tools work.
Those are some big saws, man.
Well, you know what they say about guys with big saws.
That's right. They cut big logs.
Fritz. He just cheers me up by being around. Now let's see the restaurant dude. Where the hell is he? Oh, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, out of all days, is the day that the guy running the restaurant doesn't run the restaurant. There he is. It's Rager. He's the pretty boy of the town, among the 50 others.
Every boy's a pretty boy.
Yeah, but Rager specifically, according to the other characters, is quite a ladies' man. Sort of accidentally. He's not actually pursuing anyone, it's just girls love Rager. This is Melanie. She's the daughter of the innkeeper. She's a cute kid, and she manages to be a kid character that isn't annoying. She's not special, but she isn't annoying.
And ain't she just pretty as a peach?
So, he's not the pretty boy? He's very pretty to me.
Again, they're all pretties, but Rager is the pretty bachelor. He's the available one. This is Maurice. He runs the inn. We can't really do anything at the inn. Maurice is also the father of Melanie and another character who we're going to see later. She's a bachelorette. Mostly the inn is a place where new characters who come to town will stay. They're sort of characters you have to unlock. You don't really see them until year 2. Oh, this is a funny little guy. Otmar, he runs the general store. This is where you buy some of your tools and seeds until you've really upgraded the trade depot. But for the most part, he's just the forgetful old man.
God, what a funny little fella.
Yeah, something about him makes me want to call Batman. He's some kind of supervillain. Just to cover.
Oh, how's it going, Al? Oh, I'm sorry, I mean best. Wanna buy some seeds? I got seeds.
That's just a bag of dirt.
Oh, I always get those mixed up. You can't plant dirt. Otmar, what were you thinking? You doddering old fool.
So this is all a pretty good example of what actually gets chopped down when you play in seedling mode. You'll see the prices are kind of wonky. Basically, seedling mode makes everything 70% of what it was in regular mode. So like the large bag is 70,000 gold. In regular, it's 100,000. Way too much to try to reach, especially with how low your stamina is in regular mode as well. But it makes everything a lot easier to reach.
Well, I noticed the turnip seeds were like, what, 228 in this?
Yeah, but again, you get 9 of them, and I think each individual one is worth a lot.
Gosh, that just feels like an absurd amount of money for turnips based on my experience with the series.
Yeah, I think they're keeping in mind that you're getting 9 out of each one, so there is a balance there.
But my profits!
You need the fertilizer for that.
Ah, my profits! Oh, I got at least the fertilizer's pretty cheap.
Oh yeah, it's, what, 10 gold? Pretty much nothing. Here's the other pretty boy. He's also a bachelor, Mistel. He looks like a kid, though, because there has to be one. I think he's supposed to be, like, a legal adult. I don't think he would be a bachelor if he wasn't.
Yeah. I'm just gonna think of him as a fellow with a weak chin.
Yeah, sure.
He comes from royal stock.
He didn't get out much as a kid.
There's some, shall we say, bloodline purity in his family.
Funny you point that out. He has an interesting relationship with his sister.
Oh no.
I'm out, bye.
There's nothing that weird, but there are odd... Like, they say strange things in relation to each other.
They're not quite the Lannisters, I suppose, but...
I was gonna say, I've read enough Game of Thrones to know where this is going.
We'll see his sister Iris eventually. She's a bachelorette. She looks much more like an actual adult than Mistle does.
I thought she was his mother.
Nope, she is a sister. This is Margot. She is the wife of Jonas, who we saw previously. She's very much an education mom.
Oh my god, she is such a severe-looking woman.
Oh, yes.
What a cool design.
She is every teacher you were ever afraid of.
And now she's a mother. Isn't that terrifying?
Jeez. Well, I tell you, she's got me looking around nervously for a wooden ruler.
I graduated almost a decade ago and I'm worried I didn't do my homework.
Well, too bad I don't have any of that. Mostly thanks to What's-His-Face dragging me to What's-Her-Face's farm. Names are falling out of my head right now. But you can press a button and it'll get rid of the text box so you can just see the character portrait. There's Gunther. He's the husband of Corona and he's the carpenter. So only a couple of the merchants that we unlock sell animals. Ash is the general one. She sells the cows and the chickens. And I think a couple of specialist animals later, maybe. Like, I think she sells a horse, but we get a horse for free. We're here to get rid of that juice I wasn't gonna drink.
And to sell her a bunch of raw, unrefrigerated fish.
She ain't complaining.
Hey, they were mostly fresh caught. Mostly.
Like 8 hours ago. Or yesterday.
I love when this happens.
Whoa.
There will be plenty of situations where someone's just walking into another person.
Rude. Well, I suppose, like, Best's petticoat not only has a flotation device, but also a freshwater tank.
Of course.
With refrigerant coils.
Hey, these fish are still alive, technically.
This is Angela. She works as a nurse for Marion.
You can tell by the hat.
Yep, she never changes out of it. She wants you to know she is a nurse.
She didn't go to school for nothing.
Now let's just grab everything possible.
I admit I cannot see half of the bugs you grab before you get them.
Yeah, their hitboxes are weird. I think that's a pretty common bug.
But tish.
No, but yeah, if you're just sort of in the general area of an object, you'll pick it up. Dragonflies are pains in the ass to try to grab.
Did you annoy that small bird? Poor little friend.
Yeah, there are some wild animals. They're afraid of you at the start. If you keep picking them up, they'll get,
Traumatized.
Rejected by their mothers?
they'll get traumatized enough so that they don't hate you anymore. And then if you keep doing it, eventually they'll like you. They get animal Stockholm syndrome. Or you can actually give them food that they like, and then they like you more realistically.
Can we get a warning about that too? Kids, don't pick up random sparrows.
They don't like it.
It's not flying away. Clearly there's something wrong with it.
And their beaks are sharp. And your eyes are squishy.
Speaking from experience, huh?
They don't call me Yami One Eye for nothing.
I ran afoul of a sparrow.
I like this. They separated the two halves of the river by the bridge.
That's pretty nice, and obviously this is where they dump the garbage.
Yeah, I did not have a good haul this time. One thing that's kind of annoying, you need to go trawling in order to find bricks and some gemstones, which you need for construction, and they can be pretty rare.
Bricks out of the river, huh?
Yep.
Huh.
Complete cut bricks.
I mean, you get clay out of riverbanks.
I like to think that it was just some disgruntled mason.
Or a fish with a kiln.
A mason trout, that's pretty solid.
Oh, yeah, you find them in, Chile and parts of Brazil.
Ah, yep, South American mason trouts.
Is it?
Whoa, what are we, chopped liver?
Well, we only just got here. And we are in their farm. Veronica needs to talk it up. Here's one of the plots I was talking about, the grain field. Grain field you don't get for a very long time. At least has a super long lease on it. Even longer is right next to it, the rice paddy. I don't think you can get that until year 2.
Jeez.
So who do you pay these leases to, anyway?
We'll find out eventually. It's something you do at the guild.
Ah,
And you need to be right on time for it. Otherwise someone else is going to pick it up.
Veronica again.
Early on you're going to see a lot of, I've never caught one this big before. This is the biggest one I've caught. And then you are now gold master of something. There's a lot of achievements in this game. There's no way I'm going to collect them all, because I think you need to play until year 30.
Good gracious.
You know, I still don't know what walnuts are for, but I'm going to hang on to it. Because you can collect recipes and make dishes, but I can't think of any that use walnuts.
Maybe you could feed them to a special kind of walnut eating, I don't know.
A kookaburra.
Sure, yeah, that sounds great. Maybe some kind of like bird with a loom or something.
That was a good catch. Topaz is a gemstone. I think it's worth 3,700 gold.
Oh, that's a good start.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really like. If you can get a good catch like that, money is not too much of a trouble early on. And it's mostly in these patches out in the mountains and what have you. It's where you find all of the rocks, twigs, and weeds.
Right.
I had to bum rush because Ash leaves at 21 o'clock. Oops. Yeah, if you press right and left when you're in a menu, it jumps all the way down. And with the control stick in the 3DS not being so great, that's probably going to happen. But man, look at how much the horned turbans and squids and octopuses are worth. You make a lot of cash. One of the best ways to get, to really build up the chump change is to catch as many bugs as possible.
Ooh.
And unlike the fish, after a few hours or so, the bugs will respawn in an area, so you can make a little bit more money. And it can be a little hard to imagine, but most items that you find, especially the trash, are actually used in some construction. But it tends to be more specialist items, like decorations you would put on your farm, not anything you'd use like tools.
I could find a lot of uses for, waterlogged old food. like a hat for a scarecrow, or perhaps a flower pot. That could be a good upcycle.
Now, I feel like this character was in another Bokujo Monogatari, but I can't think. If anything, this is Lily. She's the bachelor I was talking about. She's Melanie's big sister. She's apparently a famous weather girl.
Oh.
Because of course she is. That's one of the strange things about this game. There's really no logic to the stores and professions of people in town. Like, there's a restaurant, there's a carpenters, and there's a bunch of farmers. But then Misdal here runs an antique shop. There's another bachelor. He is a perfumist.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But there's Iris, who we talked about previously.
Have you been out to some rural areas? They have antique shops like cities have bars.
They totally do, man. It's all the farmers selling their old shit.
Yeah, I drive out to like East PA and it's just farms and antique shops.
Pretty much. Man, I was down just in southern Alberta going to the antique shops to buy old tools.
Here's what I was talking about Klaus. He's the perfumer. He doesn't have a shop, though. He just makes perfume.
It's a living.
Once I get a horse, these things are going to be super useful. If you see that sign, you could just go up to it and your horse will teleport to you. And if you have carrots in your inventory, you could use that as teleportation points.
Oh, cool. Hey, honeycomb.
Yep. I don't think we use honeycomb for anything. Because one of the plots that we rent out is a field with beehives. And we don't need to put honeycomb in there. Like, we catch bees just flying around on their own.
And then let them figure it out.
Yeah.
You live in this box now, bee.
Get to work.
He's like, oh man, there's not nearly enough hexagons in here. I better get busy.
One thing to keep in mind, you notice my worm is green now, as I am going to refer to it now.
Yes!
That's the thing that happens once it gets late. I think it happened around 22 o'clock. At that point, if you're tired because of the time, food is not going to recover that for you. You need to go to sleep. It's usually a sign that it's going to be green when you wake up the next morning. But at that point, you can eat and recover it back to happy worm.
I love the save screen. I simply love it.
So good. Alpacas are natural bureaucrats. Not many people know this, but they love paperwork.
They make very good secretaries.
Here's me enjoying it. For myself.
It's so good.
There we go, that was most of the town. I think there's still a few characters we haven't seen yet.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a good idea of what's going to go on for most of the LP. I will be cutting out a massive chunk of repeated shit because, God, who do you think I am? But
People don't want to watch you water crops 400 times. It just sounds fascinating. All that water.
Hey, I'd watch it, but I'm addicted to tedium.
it'll be mostly be showing off new stuff, finding things we haven't seen. Eventually, it'll be a lot of cutscenes and festivals, and we're going to be just sort of rushing through seasons.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, playing these games is, it's a different beast entirely, because you just totally zen out.
Yeah.
Pretend that you're doing real work. I can't believe we got turnips now, man.
Yeah.
Our own turnips!
It's our turnips, not her turnips.
Yeah, that's right. Turnips belong to us.
Oh, hey, don't count your turnips before they're hatched. We don't have them yet. They're still on the
Ooh.
ground.
Yeah, that's right. They could turn out to be foul turnips.
We must convince the earth to release the turnips into our care.
That's right. Don't take off the harvest goddess, or she'll make them into abyssal turnips.
Turnips of the void.
Pumpkinhead's cousin.
Void turnip.
That's right.
In parts of Scotland and Ireland, they carve turnips like we've carved jack-o'-lanterns.
Wow.
There's your turnip fact for this video.
Please bring more next time.
I have more. I'm ready.
Let's learn more about turnips.
But next time, we're going to be wrapping up the last of our training, and then in part 5, the worst farm will live again.
Yes.